planted.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to SpikeTalk. Producer Steve just stepping in for a couple minutes. We had a narrow window to make this time slot work for everybody so we could get a good convo in. We've got Strong and Wendler with us. How's it going, guys?
Not too bad. Can't complain.
So much, bro.
Good here.
Nice.
You see the disrespect? Hey, Strong. This guy will never defend me like this, but every time babybay does something wrong, instant defender, bro. Number one public defender, this guy, bro.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Well, yeah, you just
bro.
make it easy to be on whoever's on the other side sometimes. So
that's fucking tough.
babybay will be joining us in a couple minutes. He's on his way home from practice, but we needed to get this kicked off. So I'm really going to throw it into your hands real quick, Hector. I know a couple of you guys are just meeting for the first time. This is like mutual connections in different directions for everybody. Like somebody knew babybay, somebody knew Hector. We didn't expect babybay to be here just yet. So I don't know, Hector, if you have any specific thoughts, where's everyone's head at with how the season's going so far, and what have you been excited about lately?
So on a personal level, I've been frustrated by, I think, the meta. Let's kind of start there. I'm curious as to what you guys think. And then after we wrap up this meta, I'd like to know some stories from champs from you, Strong. So let's talk about the meta. I'll just open it with, I kind of thought it was really crazy that double duelists dominated last year in champs, as obviously, Strong, you know, you're the champ. And they go, yo, you know what we should do instead? Especially because NRG won. Let's just make initiators weak so we can nerf Brock. Oh, wait. But then don't we got to stop the game from slowing down because we want more exciting games? We want PRX to play more. Why not just take away Sentinels too? I thought that offseason move was kind of dumb, especially when, in my opinion, they brought out an agent who specializes in disrupting utility. So for me, I kind of just didn't understand the balance and a lot of the stuff that was happening. So that was my complaint about the meta. And then I guess afterwards, after we share our opinions, we'll talk about the post Santiago stuff too. But so let's start there. So now that you know the groundwork, Strong, talk about your thoughts about everything going on around the meta post your championship.
Yeah. I mean, this meta is awful. The whole thing with this, right, was they planned these initiator changes for a long, long, long time. That was the big drive. It's a bit of a case of, I think, multiple things came together, badly at the wrong time. They were very focused on, okay, this was their big plan for 2026 was, from what we heard at Champs as well, and what kind of, Riot people told us, all this sort of stuff. Yeah, we want to make initiators a much different part of the game. We don't want the game to really work on a basis of, oh, we're cycling you till, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. We want it to be shorter, smarter, snappier. So they make these massive nerfs. And in the first case, I don't see why that's even on a fundamental level good for the game. Because you're just making the game... It's a Riot thing where they're trying to prioritize the solo queue experience, I guess. This has always been the case. I mean, I was back in League. I remember the amount of stuff they removed in League, man, which was good for competitive play and then just bad for the solo queue experience. They did this over and over and over again. So I get the mindset they're coming from. They want to make it as consistent as possible. They want to make every solo queue game feel the same so that you're comfortable coming back into it. So that's what the initiator nerfs basically came from. It's okay, well, if we don't have any complexity in the mid-round, then every game feels the same. And we want that because we're Riot, because that sells, I guess. We got our metrics, blah, blah, blah. And then they just shot themselves in the foot with making all these nerfs at the same time. And, I mean, what we've seen over the past, and what we're going to keep seeing, we're seeing double duelists. It's different iterations of double duelists. There's significant, for example, the double duelist stuff that worked at Champ with the waylay Neon, right? That's going to work very differently to how double duelist is now evolving, and how it's probably going to evolve down the season, obviously, because you know where you're Durf Neon, right? But you're just getting different shades of brown. But all these metas, all these double duelist metas are just awful, and it's going to just keep rolling, right? And it's, I don't know, it just feels really awful to me, and I think it's got to be the worst that the game's been in for a long time, honestly. It just sucks, and it gets just nuking the Sentinels as well, because you could counter this stuff at Champs. It was, we played against it, we won against it. We got into new season. It feels like there's nothing you could do to counter it. like you have to be super proactive with how you're countering it as well. Like this is why we were running like a bunch of like Teo and stuff. We were running like drone stuff because basically we figured, okay, the only way we can counter it, we can't counter it reactively. We have to counter it actively. We have to have like a better attacking plan. So we went for double drone on a bunch of maps, all this sort of stuff. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. But that's just not a healthy meta at all. You're just trying to find different ways of thinking things being broken, man.
Do you think the tactical depth is better?
No one thinks that, right?
Okay. I was just curious.
No.
You know.
It's just worse on every level. And again, it's just optimizing for the solo queue game where basically people running use all the util and the one hit and then they either get started and win or they don't, right? That's what it's optimizing for. And then maybe like you go dead and you use it at the end of the round, sure. They're optimizing for that experience and not optimizing for pro play, which, okay, I understand that, fair enough. There was a little bit of balance here, right? And I think the spectator, I mean, Valorant, the entire reason you ripped off Counter-Strike and you made this game is because you wanted to make a good spectator sport because League isn't a good spectator sport. And you're making the spectator sport worse. So what are you doing? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. What about you, Wendler? What do you think?
I mean,
Are you Among Us or?
I was a prominent hater of this change as soon as it came out. As soon as I saw like the initiator cooldowns, I'm like, you're simplifying the state to 2 options on attack, and then your defensive read becomes pretty, I would almost say, straightforward. Like you have to commit to space early because if you don't, you just lose. Because that's, time lost of teams walking up and then just pop exploding onto you onto different sites. I've voiced this feedback. It seems like almost the read is still that the game is like how it was in Toronto when Teo was at its peak, based on the changes, and it's just odd. I mean, I know a lot of people talk like, well, it's a PRX meta, so it should be easy, but I think at the same time, it's hard for something to be a team's meta when every team is playing that way. Because, I mean, you guys have played against PRX for a while. PRX take their own timings, but now everyone is incentivized to do that. So, the natural timings the team used to take, even before I got here, are now timings everyone's taking at the same time. So, even PRX, in terms of their play style, have lost a piece of that because of this change, which is even crazy when you put it in that perspective.
I mean, that's the crazy thing as well, playing against you. I felt like PRX slowed down so much as a result of this. Like, PRX ain't PRX anymore.
Yeah, and that's not a me thing. That's not me coming in and implementing like, oh, I learned this at G2. Let's slow down and play at your default. No,
I
it's
find
just
that so funny. Because so G2 used to body bag PRX when it came out. You know why? Because it was a clash of, in theory, fast versus slow. And if you ever came from Rainbow Six, like CS, you kind of understood that fast loses to slow, but slow loses to balance, but balance loses to fast. It was like this flow chart of like how people played. What I find fascinating about that is now G2 struggling. You know why? Because now their style doesn't exist anymore. They've had to adopt a new style, and everyone's style has become PRX-esque. And PRX has had to learn how to slow things down for themselves to take advantage of the ops and the aims that they have. And it's kind of funny because me and Cruz got into a big argument last year, I think, around season 2, because I hated the fact that my Thai guys used to always say, basically, we want to be like PRX. And my whole argument every single year that I've been here has been, why do you want to be like the guys that are the best at this style? You think you're going to just eventually be better than them, even though they have 5-6 times the experience you do? It's just not. It's much better to find your own way and then beat them that way, right? Finding what they're weak to and making a whole system out of this to better optimize against them than it ever will be to copy what they're doing. It seems like Cruz ultimately was right about this, about taking their side over mine, about how they should be. Because in season 2, we obviously basically, I mean, you weren't there yet, but we copied a lot of PRX's shit basically and used it against them and everybody else. And it kind of unlocked, I think, Thigh and Primi, and it kind of helped everything. But with Jit, I got to keep my stuff. if that made sense. Like, you kind of see it with Scuba, right? How, like, Scuba plays entirely different than the way Mata does. But the balance works because Scuba's really good at absorbing pressure, and you kind of want to bait them into him because he's so good. That was, like, how I was with Jit. Like, I got to keep my theory with Jit on Sentinel, and then everyone else played like PRX. So it was kind of like a blend of both. But it's so funny that I think now, in hindsight, I think Cruz was absolutely right that the game was going to evolve this way. Because in my brain, I'm like, yeah, but like if more teams copy PRX, that means we're better against more teams.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out that way. So hearing you guys say that, to me, is just really funny because it kind of just brings up the fact that I was wrong about what ended up happening. And the truth is, it was like I just didn't have the foresight to know that they would basically diminish the safety net that you had, like the safeguards. Like Neon, I got into it a little bit with Anders about Neon because, like, I think people want Neon to be like giga nerfed or like reworked, and I'm just like, Neon's not broken. Because if you look at champs or you look at season 2, like us, we body bagged every Neon. Why? Because Cypher was good, or you could run Deadlock effectively. Now you just can't because of the way everything else is, because you no longer have the util to like get info and support a Sentinel. It has to be one or the other. You give up the whole map in order to bait them into going into the Sensi, and then you give everything for the Sensi, or you get the info, and now your Sensi basically has to play retake because there's almost no way they can survive now, given the fact that like things went the way that they went. And it's just kind of crazy, I think, what the game has evolved to.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
It's hard to see how it gets better as well, unless they just nut up at some point and basically reverse half the changes they've made. I mean, this is the thing.
Their ego. You know better than I do. The ego there is insane. Yeah. They'll never admit we made an error.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever full revert, but I think like they'll slowly bring the cooldowns down, but it won't be for everybody. So they'll probably make like breach stun like 45 seconds. They'll probably make KO knife like 40 seconds or something. But you'll probably see scans sit at 60. Like they'll probably just do a gradual incremental increase for every initiator to get back. At least I hope if they go any correction, I hope that's what they do.
I think they'll also start messing around with charges and stuff more, to be fair. I like they made Skye flash recharging, right? They're going to do stuff like that. They're going to charge to abilities. They're going to do stuff like that rather than which will. I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure that that's going to work, but that may get you somewhere at least. That will actually bring a bit of diversity back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, I was telling, I think it was Autumn. I was talking to Autumn about like, so it's, for me, it's weird that some agents, because I come from Dota, where there were, I think, 2 or 3 different internationals where every single character in the game, over 100 of them, by the way, were picked or banned. Right? Now, League will never see that. That's just not their philosophy. And I get it. And I'm not expecting Valorant to be that. But to me, it's weird that some agents never get shine in pro play. Ever. And their buffs don't ever really happen to the same degree or with the same veracity that the nerfs happen. Right? Because normally, like the way Ice Frog traditionally did things in Valorant was incremental buffs, incremental nerfs, until everything became sort of like this, right? Yeah. I'm not expecting Rioters to go, let's take this design philosophy, largely because of the ego I mentioned before, right? Because me, I'd have no problem just being like, my bad, I tried, I swung for the fences, I fucking missed, my bad. Unlucky, you know what I mean? Like, it's a tough job, I get it, but like, that's just how my brain works. It's just much easier to just say, oops, and then get past it, and then like course correct. I think though, what I don't understand is, and this is what I was telling Autumn, was why hasn't Reyna gotten like full revert back to when she had 4 orbs basically? Because she's not played since then. But at least if you get her now we can have a different variety of duelists at least. So if it's going to be like a duelist game, let's play all the duelists. And he brought up something that was pretty interesting. He was like, you do realize, I mean, you two realize, as you guys have mentioned it, that, hey, they really only balance for ranked. But then he goes, Reyna would be the number 1 pick agent in ranked. But wait, Hector, she already is in her current state. So you can't buff her because to them, they're not balancing, obviously, for pro play. They're balancing for ranked. And in ranked, she's one of the best. And I was like, wait a minute. Damn, that's actually true. That like Clove still, even despite the nerf, picked all the time. I don't know how you balance a game for ranked, but pro play, which is supposed to be a marketing tool for the game, a la ranked, it'll never be a reflection of what you see.
Yeah.
Well, it's sorry, go ahead, Strong.
Yeah. I mean, one thing to say, devil's advocate for Riot, blah, blah, blah. To be fair, they don't have as many levers to pull, I think, definitely compared to MOBAs, right? In terms of actually balancing these agents, that is a big issue, and that's why you've had this. This is why they've kind of arrived at this philosophy where they almost always only nerf things, right? It feels like, I mean, there's occasional buffs, but it feels like everything's just been getting nerfed constantly for the last 5 years. I mean, it's difficult, right? Because it does feel like a case of you do probably need that they need to understand that you need to lean a little bit more into balancing. Like in League, it's easy, right? In League, it's easy because they have so many buttons you can press in terms of numbers, in terms of small stuff and the abilities, in terms of all this sort of stuff, right? Which don't really exist in the same way in Valorant. And because also there's such a mechanical skill gap between agents, would be champions in League, right? Like the example being obviously Azir, for example, constantly 44% win rate forever, can be extremely good in pro play. Like there's a massive gap in terms of an agent of a champion.
Right.
But they don't have those levels to pull in Valorant, to be fair, but they need to. At some point, they're going to have to. They'll never admit it, but at some point, they're going to have to realize we need to start just quietly balancing for pro play at least a little bit. When they go.
I was going to say, I think it's like almost like a double-sided sword, especially with like healing related agents. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think Sage is like one of the most nerfed agents in the game and still sits at like a 52% win rate all time, especially in ranked. So I think those agents are just fucked, to say the least, for probably the history of the game, unless they find a way to balance or counterbalance healing in a way.
I mean, okay, so this is not a self plug. You brought up healing. Zombie comp to me is just tempo. That's why I made it. That's why I used it against DRX, who we are going to play this week. Haha. That's why it worked. It's because you want to play default heavy? Great. I'll just out-tempo you by just trading lives.
Right.
And then I just res, and now your shit just got way worse. Because you think it's even, it's not even. Because you have to rotate, I plant the bomb, now you're cooked. Eat this slow, eat this molly, I don't think the zombie comp is good because of heals. Like Skye, Sage. I don't actually think the heals are the best part of their kits. For me, personally, the slows, 18 seconds of slow on Sage is fucking ridiculous. That is what makes Sage great. Yeah. I think even the TikTok walls are just they just provide a level of uniqueness to give you added benefit in a round or two that you otherwise wouldn't have had. But I don't even think the wall is the biggest thing. For Skye, flashes, honestly, she's another tempo agent in a different way. She doesn't res, but she basically can fly with duelists. Most supports can't actually match the pace of the duelists. Skye can. She just goes while she's running, flashes, gun out, right? Like, I think that's what provides her strength. And I'll also point out, most people don't even use the regen shield correctly with healing agents anyway. But heal is, to your point, actually one of the most misunderstood and misrepresented strengths of the game. Because healing comps, bro, especially on pistols, which are so important. Healing comps are fucking so strong. Yeah. We used to have a chip meta like 2 years ago where you had like all these agents that could just like chip you down. Heals were so valuable. So this is why in 23 Skye was so valuable, really. Because it was all chip agents. I feel like even heals are often misunderstood in this way, because I think that dynamic could also prevent, I think in some ways, let's say you had more abilities and more agents that could be unique with heals. Like Skye's being AoE is probably the most unique, but I mean, like in general, if they were better, we might be able to out-tempo this Neon Waylay shit where it wouldn't matter. But you can't even, it's not even viable because they are not even at the strength, anywhere close to the strength of the strongest duelist that they keep allowing to kind of reign supreme. And I feel like if what they want to do is make everything broke, because, I mean, I guess my understanding of League, Strong, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I always thought that everything in League was kind of overpowered, and that was the minute it was supposed, and that was the way it was supposed to be.
No, not so much. I mean, that's Dota. Dota obviously has been that way a lot of times. League, it's always been. I mean, you have a very small set of champions that work in League, so which kind of speaks to the fact that most things aren't overpowered. You maybe had like 5 or 6 champions a patch who were like actually overpowered. But the philosophy in League was always, we're going to balance the game, we're going to build the game in a way where nothing is too overpowering, nothing is too broken, right? And it just happens that therefore the meta got all very samey because then it just became, okay, well, there's like 6, 7 or 8 picks at each position where they have even or good matchups into everything else that you could really play. There's some extreme picks where you're not really ever going to get a chance to use them. That's why the meta became very samey there. But they have not really ever balanced League for power hitting power. It's always kind of been the opposite. They've always it's a misconception because obviously if something goes wrong, it's 140 champions. If one champion's incredibly overpowered, you get that perception of how can they let this through? How can this be broken? Blah blah blah. And it does happen from time to time. But they have actually always gone for a make everything weak and make it like philosophy with balancing League, which is like one of the big reasons why I prefer Dota as a game fundamentally, even though obviously I was pro in League.
Because I always thought both those games had that similarity, because there was a point I was going to make, but obviously it's probably not as strong now that they both aren't. Because I always thought that's why the meta in League was always very similar, where like every team only picked the same 15 agents. I thought the difference there was the Baron buff and like the Dragon buff and like all those things made it different. Because in Dota, you could play a large range of the cast, but everyone's still, the picks are normally condensed unless you have like a specialist, like an Admiral Bulldog-ish. Outside of that, everyone still kind of picks the same, and I thought that's why both those two games.
No. I mean, from what I understand in Dota, I mean, the thing from my understanding of Dota is basically you do still have condensation to a point, but you can play the entire roster because there's there's like special strategies you can do with anything, right?
Right. Yeah.
You don't have that in League. You're going to be playing every lane pretty much the same, and every lane and the map as a whole pretty much the same way every single game, with very few exceptions. So that's kind of, and it just basically becomes all of these 8 options are safe. And those are the 8 options to get played. That's kind of how League balance works. Right. It's always worked.
So it's more like chess in a way, where the game is kind of solved. You can solve the game much faster than you could a game like that.
The new draft rules kind of made it a big impact on that, though, right?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that, right, Hector?
I am not actually.
Fearless drafts
that's not
now?
my game. No.
Well, now you can only use a champion once throughout a series. So they have
It's the same thing Val tried testing off season.
Yeah.
Bro, don't even get me started on agent bans. We did a town hall with devs, and there's some coaches that don't want to do work. So they're like, drafts would be really hard and bad for the game. And basically, if you break down what they said, some of these coaches just don't want to do more work. I'm like, what do you mean? That's like the best part of MOBAs, is being able to just be like, oh, Wendler, you keep kicking my ass with Queen of Pain or like Zed. All right, I'm just going to ban him. Now what? Now what? What are you going to do now? That tag team of like, oh, I'm going to stun your whole team, and then this guy's going to do everything. Oh, can't do it now. What's next, kid? Like, I don't know. It's I would like that was actually one of the arguments I had for the town hall when we did that. Was I basically was telling, like, I'm not going to name the writers, but I was basically telling people like, hey, listen, you can future-proof your game through us, because if Tejo, who's the most broken agent at the time, I was saying last year, is out and I don't want to deal with it, I just ban it. And then who cares about the balance? Because I am making a concerted effort to like take him out to sort of like do what we need to do, and like they get to take out an agent of mine, right? Like for this kickoff, probably everybody would have been like, Vito, you're out of here, right? And then it's like, okay, now I have to really think about like what I'm going to do next or what I'm going to evolve to, right? But I noticed that like there's even though League of Legends has a draft system, for some reason, when you talk about this in Valorant, everyone gets like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Even though I think it adds a layer of complexity to the game that I think is actually really good. But unlucky.
Yeah, the only point to be made for that, to be fair, is again, like these drafts work in MOBA a little bit because there are like multiple like for like ish picks where it's like, okay, if you ban this out, we're not losing everything. And
yeah,
obviously, we started with 12 agents in Valorant. We're up to 25, 30 now.
Yeah.
I think, to be fair, you kind of probably need to get to 40 and you have some measure of redundancy before you can really start talking about draft system. But we're not far off that, to be fair.
Sure.
Get the next year or so.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. It's just, I think the reluctance to, it's kind of weird because, I mean, you can meme the Project A shit to death, but isn't it funny that, like, Project A was supposed to be about abilities, and actually what they've done is turned it into CS3? Really, if you think about it, because so many of my games, and I think this is why people don't understand why I don't like this meta, or why, like, on a personal level, I think Vito is right now the strongest agent in the game. The problem is there's no need for him because you don't use utility.
Yeah.
Everything is a silent walk up or a neon wall and then a dive on you. You can't take those abilities away. So what is the fucking point?
Yeah.
But if you actually had to play, like if you put Vito, I think, this is my belief, Strong. You can tell me because you won champs, so obviously, you know, it is what it is. I think if you took Vito in January and you put him in champs 25, that would have been probably the key to winning.
Yeah,
champs.
I can buy that. Because
I think like,
that,
yeah. Like, I think that this agent is that strong. The reason why people probably don't realize he's stronger than what Tejo was is because they can't see the full impact. But I think if they didn't patch anything like they did in the offseason and they kept it the same, I think Vito would probably have been the most played agent by almost everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of crazy to have a fucking BKB last the entire round. I just think that's like sort of weird. And then like, you know, but like, you don't need these agents because they're just not like Jet. I think Jet is in a really good state. I think Jet is surprisingly strong right now. You know why you can't play her? Because there are just some agents that have a kit that can't be stopped by Sentinels. So why would you use her when you can just pick Waylay and she does everything better? And she provides even more like tricky stuff like, oh, I can walk up and reset and make you use util. Jet can't really do that. Her dash is to avoid util. It's not really to get you to like it's not a setup play. It's more ooh, I'm out of here.
Yeah, she's such a passive agent now, which would be wild to say.
Right.
Like any time in the past.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of weird. Like, I think, what did you notice about Santiago? So, all right, you lived through kickoff, Strong. Wendler, you too. You beat me twice. Unlucky. And then you guys went to Santiago. Not much changed, but to me, from an outsider, it felt like everything changed. It felt like those 3 weeks that we had in kickoff, everyone just learned so much more. Because to me, the gameplay was so different in Santiago than at least visually, it looked like what I could see. It looked so different than what I experienced in kickoff, especially from you when they're from PRX. So talk to me about that, the two of you. Do you agree or disagree? First off, I have no problem if you say I'm like, I wasn't there, so I actually don't know. But from a spectator, it felt like a totally different meta, even though everything was the same.
I think everyone just saw the two duelists and just committed to that identity, like, completely. I went into Santiago expecting, like, obviously there were some teams like Energy that ran like the two initiator, but I was honestly expecting more two Sentinel.
Yeah.
As like a hard adjustment to the two duelists. But I think there's probably like just some frustration there with trying to play two Sentinel. Like, even though like on paper it probably should have shut down the dive aspects, but if you get stuck or you mistime your util, or like your Sova scan misses his dart, or your fade misses their eye timing, you just feel like you can't play the game if you're playing two Sentinel. Like, I know a lot of people talk about like the Vice Chamber comps, like the stuff that we ran last year, or talked about last year, but you had a 45-second scan last year, and you had a Yoru that could also fill the gap last year. like if you like low rolled your setup and now you've lost both, like not to say like Yoru wasn't busted, but you've lost the scan, and I think the scan was like one of the most important parts of making that comp work, like the two Sentis. So yeah, I think everyone just saw the two duelists and just said, you know, fuck it. Like, if this is what the game is with less util, let's send it and go and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, so from our end, basically, the way we were thinking about it was this. So firstly, we played against double duelist at Champions. We had senior initiator nurse were coming, all that sort of stuff. We had a strong inkling, obviously, therefore, that it was going to go to double duelist and some form was going to like run through kickoff essentially. We didn't commit to it particularly ourselves because we didn't really think it was a great fit for the players we had, even though with the changes that we made with players that we had, we didn't think it was an amazing fit. And a lot of teams basically came into kickoff thinking, trying different strategies, basically. We had like a diversity of strategies, I felt like. I don't know if the pick rates really back that up, but you had people trying other stuff. And then everybody kind of realized, no, there is one overriding strategy here, and it is specifically pretty much play double duels and play the Yoru in particular, take infinite space with the Yoru, just, yeah, that sort of stuff, right? And we started to, and obviously in our case, we played against G2 in middle semi-finals and just got completely rocked by them just rolling up double duelist.
Neon Waylay, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
So they were kind of ahead of their time.
Yeah, and then they maybe regressed a little bit back behind the time, but unlucky. But I mean, this was the thing. So on paper, obviously, going into the season, we're thinking, okay, Sentinel against double duelist is like Sentinel, even double Sentinel get double duelist. It's not obvious this natural counter, right? We kind of couldn't get it to work, and it kind of didn't help that obviously people in our practice aren't playing double duelist. They aren't playing the solve comp themselves. We get into officials, we realize, okay, we need to do something again. We go back to Sentinel, we go back to experimentation on that. We had stuff like the Vice corrode comp. Well, with the Vice split comp, for example, which was supposed to be a very deliberate answer to double duelist. It never really worked out for us. And then what we kind of found out was, okay, no, all the Sentinels are just too weak. We can't really justify running these. And so you kind of had this messy situation where there was almost no philosophy. We were just doing whatever we had felt out had worked on each individual map. And that, I think that's kind of what happened with Santiago. You basically had this just, everyone sort of settling, converging on this mean, right? And like, it was this solve strategy. And it was obviously pretty much boring as shit, but I think that's literally what it came down to. It just came down to there was a superior strategy. No one really figured it out. Well, some people figured out during the off-season, did very well off of it. Most people didn't get to a consensus point on it. We started playing officials, been very clear what the right answer was, and everyone adopted the right answer and then found the answers. The answers to the answers didn't really work, so just stick on the answer. That's kind of how I felt anyway.
VCD Pacific did a coaching thing, and I did it, and they obviously for production, they changed a lot because it didn't make sense when I watched it compared to what the questions actually were. One of the questions was basically are Nongshim meta merchants? And I was one of the only people there that were no, they're not. And everyone thought I was crazy. But it's this is what they were last year when I beat them every time. They didn't change. What changed was you can no longer play Sentinels and slow down Danby. And if you can't slow down, not arguably, the best Neon in the world, then Neon is going to look outrageous. Mm. And Wendler, you remember when we had the coaching dinner with the Rioters just a few weeks ago, I basically told them to their faces, all you guys did for another kickoff is create some meta where people are going to exploit it, and then when people figure it out or Sentinels come back, which I thought they were going to do and they didn't, they're going to go back to reality about where they actually are in the world and in the rankings, and all you did was basically create a really crazy thing for champs where the teams that are at champs aren't the best teams. Because, you can't really argue, or I don't believe you can argue with me that Talon wasn't one of the best teams in the world last year around the Japan time. It just so happened that we had two teams. One won a Masters, and another one got a lot of points in kickoff. I'm seeing them this week. And they did nothing for the rest of the year. But because you can accrue so many points because of these sometimes dumb metas, that they basically get lucky, and then they're average the rest of the year, but then, unlucky, they end up becoming, or through the points, they have a tiebreaker. Like with DRX, they had, I believe, a tiebreaker versus us, I think. But we had even points, right?
And it's even harsher, too, when, like, I know, like, Riot's talked about on Plat Chat, like, Leo just came on and was talking about, like, their balance timings are not built around pro play. But all of these, like, balance patches that come through do not make any sense on, like, a time frame either. So you're creating a whiplash effect on top of the fact that you have a meta that maybe favors a certain team's style for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah. Well, as you know from that dinner, there's a reason why they go on certain shows and talk to certain people rather than like others, because they don't want questions like, well, explain something to me. If you're spending all this money in marketing esports, which is supposed to market your game, why are you making it so difficult for esports? You're investing money into something you're hurting. There is no symbiotic relationship there.
Yeah.
We are supposed to promote the best of the game. Why are we always finding out things last? Why is there no communication amongst the top teams and like the bottom teams in terms of like balance? Like, there was a comment made by someone who I won't name, which was basically like Strong. Like they told me to my face, well, if you made more masters, you can talk to more devs. That was actually like a comment that was said. And what I find really interesting about that philosophy is like, okay, surely I'm not good enough. Okay, that's cool. But you're still investing money into me and my teams to help promote Valorant. And not that this should matter, but it's ironic who they're telling this to, because my teams have also been some of the most creative ones.
Yeah.
And if you're making us less creative, we're now basically all becoming uniform. And then that's why it goes back to my CS3 comment, which I know bothered people, but it was like, that's why, because to me, I look at it like my time in CS with Blade, where like, we'll just see Na'Vi running. Bro, we play Na'Vi this week. They'll run all of our, like a Mirage. They'll take every smoke setup. They'll take all our pops. And then all of a sudden we go, damn, we got to evolve. Yo, Copenhagen Wolves has this nice like take I saw. Let's just borrow that. Then next week you see, it's like you become a copycat league this way.
Well, there are teams when we went through kickoff and then a little bit in Santiago, where like this is literally our exec.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're trying to do our exec into us.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, I tried that in kickoff too on Split. My bad, bro.
Yeah,
that was tough. But we still lost. We still lost. But
I mean, sometimes the stuff's broken enough to where you can do it and it's fine. But
yeah,
it's crazy that's where, because like, I mean, even in the past, even like in the old initiator meta, there was some like opens you could see that are similar, but it's like the mid round choices are what like differentiated IGLs, I would say, as to how
that's
it
basically
branched off.
NRG. Because they're really all mid-rounding. Like, their pre-round
like
isn't
if you give Ethan enough time, he will break your defense on T side, and he will find where he needs to go.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's
you
just
have no time. Now
A
it's,
or B.
Bop,
what do you do?
Bop. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It just becomes. I mean, it becomes far more important. It just becomes It just becomes basically set heavyweight boxing, set your feet, and just punch the other guy, and it's just kind of becomes. I mean, it sucks for viewers, it sucks for players, it just sucks for everyone. I mean, there's an interesting point to be made in terms of, like, we kind of found, like, I mean, like, the NRG setups, obviously, like, the whole thing, our mid-run was really good. We always kept opens fairly simple as a thing, just because we knew we could basically build up on that, we can build up the reactions, and that sort of stuff, and to be fair, there are a lot of teams that have been successful in the past who've worked on a similar basis. I know, for example, that old FPX lineup, and that was like a huge thing for them. That was like one of the reasons they were great. But you can't really have that when you have this one-site meta, essentially, at some point. It's just...
rounds are ending in 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So, yeah. Man, I mean, I don't know. What was your form going into that champs, though? Did you actually think you guys were as strong as you became?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was pretty confident we were going to win champs. Like it was based. To be fair, it was basically a case of. So we had way better form than people realize in terms of the EWC stuff, because obviously no one paid attention to EWC for whatever reasons we know, right? But we like had a massively good run through that qualifier. We lost, I think, twice. We lost once to 100 Thieves, I think, and then that was it. And we just won every other game. We played against MIB. Obviously, they weren't the same MIB. We beat them pretty handily. We beat 100 Thieves pretty handily. We go to EWC. We win our first 2 games handily. The format sucks. We have a bad day against Gen.G. We're just out, right? We finished 5th to 8th for that EWC, but we were on like good form, and we were the highest placing America's teams, all this sort of stuff. We go back week 1, 100 Thieves just destroy us, but that was just an off game, and we kind of knew, I mean, my ego, my confidence, I just thought, okay, I can see the team we've got. I can see this meta is kind of going to shift, not massively towards us. And obviously, the whole idea basically when double duels everywhere wasn't really on our radar. We were thinking, this seems like it's going towards double initiator. This is going to be something that's good for us. This is like with the players that we have, with the change we just made in terms of getting Scuba in as well. Like the roles just seem to fit together, as flex together. But we were supremely confident coming into that tournament. It was a case of, well, I mean, I say supremely confident. I thought we'd lose against EDG. But I was like pretty confident we were going to make a deep run during that tournament, just because everything clicked. We had a perfect meta, and this is the thing. This is the point I want to make. Maybe Riot don't understand this. If they're listening, you need to understand this, Riot. The way that teams are constructed, the way that teams build up their playbook and all this sort of stuff, it's not the case. Like, meta shift towards you. You don't shift towards the meta for the most part, right? There is a far greater wind-up time in terms of building a team and building a team structure and building a team playbook and all that sort of stuff than you seem to understand. If the meta changes like 2 weeks before champions, tough shit, the teams aren't going to adapt to it. Like, the good teams are most likely not going to adapt to it. Like, maybe 1 in a million chance that you have a team where all the players and the coaching staff and everything else happen to be not even just good enough, flexible enough to pivot their entire operation and put something together and make it work, and then use that entire build-up period perfectly, basically. I mean, this was also a big thing, to be fair. I thought the big thing that I thought in terms of us being good at champs wasn't just, we were going in good form. It was, okay, looking at our schedule, looking at how things are going to go forward, and looking at what we've built up now in terms of this whole run-up period over the last 2-3 months previously. It was like, okay, I feel confident that we're going to use these 5 weeks exceptionally well, and therefore we're just going to be... We're going to use it better than anybody else could possibly use it, and we're just going to become the best team in the world. That was kind of a large part of my confidence as well. But yeah, it was right place, right time. A lot of things coming together. But yeah, we were like super confident coming in, man. We thought we should have won EWC, and we were disappointed in that, and therefore we thought we should win champions. And like Santiago, we arguably had less belief than we did for either EWC or champions. We still thought we were going to. Like, my expectation was we'd finish either bottom 4 or top 3, and we just about made top 3, right? But
yeah,
we were confident going to champions just because we knew things were rolling the right way for us, and we were kind of confident that, okay, we're going to use this time perfectly. We're going to just blow through. Yeah, we're going to do as well we possibly could in this run up. That was where our confidence came from.
As for Wendler, he was on fucking G2 with this bum that just showed up late, and
wait, was it?
What time? What timeline?
You were helping them, I thought. No, you were
hell no.
Or were you on PRX?
No, at Champs, I was helping PRX at Champs.
Wait. Time out.
Wow.
Time out.
Wait.
So you're telling me you're a Benedict Arnold? You're telling me you were helping G2 before Champs, and then you were killing G2 at
No,
Champs?
I was with JDG last year. It was JDG. They I asked for my release early, and then
yeah, I know.
Hey, we trialed Wendler, bro. He was good. He was creative as fuck, bro. You should have seen the shit he was cooking on Abyss, bro.
My bad.
we were running some crazy shit at trials, bro.
Was it crazier than having you on your? Never mind.
What do you mean? That wasn't even that bad. I was farming everybody in NA, bro.
no, I was on the veto cope.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's tough.
No, it was good,
wasn't
though.
cope because
we beat Fnatic with that shit.
I call it cope now, but
Yeah, it's
I
not
mean the
that
same
good.
with me. Like everybody's like, "Oh, I thought Veto was good." It's like, bro,
Yeah, but you
I don't
still
even
run
watch
it.
games because I mean it's okay.
What?
Yeah, you
What do
missed
you
the
mean?
veto. You missed the veto talk.
What
but
do you
basically,
mean? You still run it. This
Yeah,
guy still
'cause-
runs veto.
Well, because you can, because he's fucking good. But yeah, but I don't run Veto because of his. I run Veto for something else now, which is like entirely.
Wait, that's crazy though. I didn't even know you were with PRX during champs.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I was supposed to, after the JDG contract ended, I was supposed to go to EDG. They were going to fly me out. They had me do some last minute work where I had to review their grand finals.
Oh, they weren't the only one. How about the book you had to do for EMEA team? Beep.
Oh, that was this off season.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, but
I'm old, bro. My timeline is off.
Yo, Strong. Do you think that if you guys played PRX at Champs, you would have still made the run? Do you think PRX?
I think we would have lost first game in 1 second. I think that was literally my pick'ems. I had us going to upper finals, losing to PRX and beating PRX in grands.
Damn. Because I was gonna say, because like when we PRX'd you guys, I was listening to every interview, and y'all were like, "I never played against some shit like this," and then we were laughing our asses off because we were like, "Dude, this shit happened to us all the fucking time."
Yeah, yeah.
I will say the most time I watched was like energy VODs at Champs, because like it's not something like you can like go in and like hard ante, but I was like, how the fuck do we get ahead of this if we do match up? And then just never
fucking corrode. You guys had the best corrode I've ever seen, bro. That shit with the paper walls was just, and the comp. Like I remember when we first played you guys, when you first played the KO Sova with the waylay on that map, I was like, all right, I don't think you guys did waylay first. Wasn't it another duelist first? It may have been like Neon first, maybe.
It may have been, yeah.
But then you switched to the waylay. Is it like I think everyone realized like, yo, waylay's fucking OP. I even remember Josh saying like a team that runs waylay is going to win Champs.
Yeah. No, I mean, we probably ran Neon and we just kind of realized, yeah, waylay is just ridiculous, particularly on that map, because just the verticality and stuff you can abuse. And we kind of got lucky with the KO as well, like just fitting stuff so well, because we I mean that definitely wasn't the only thing we were trying. We were trying out various other stuff, and we just realized, wait, hold on. You look at these sites, you look at how people are playing, you look at the knife covers everything. These flashes are really good, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it just happened that it just came together perfectly.
You have like one of the best KOs too. To make exactly. That shit happen, bro.
Yeah, that's always the key with these things. It's just like you got someone who's frying on that pick. It's like you get to understand why some of these teams where it's like, bro, why are you running this pick again? It's like, okay, well, you've got the best guy in the world, that's it. So,
right,
I could just keep. If it works, it's going to be amazing. Just keep trying it. Fuck it. Just keep trying it. Like eventually, it's going to work on a map. But yeah, we got a bit of fortune in that just stuff came together so well on that road, and then it just went to complete shit during the off season for this one. But it's fine.
Dude, that map, I actually hate that map so much, bro. Especially because of PRX, bro.
That was good, bro.
You didn't like the vice walls?
Bro,
oh the vice walls,
God, man. No, you know what I didn't like? I didn't like Forsaken being able to just do whatever the fuck he wants on fucking, what is it, A main? Yeah, great, bro. Great. Forsaken can play another agent at like the highest level possible because he can just shit on you no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy has a fucking normal ass lurk wall, but he can just pick wherever, left or right. He's going to body you wherever you are. Great. Yep. He goes left or right, bro. Oh, he's behind you in A site.
Yep.
Great.
He's like, Ash, I want to use this wall. I was like, okay.
You know what's funny about that? I remember Ban telling me in 04, he was like, heck, I don't think you realize how hard it is that like every map I'm on a different agent and stuff. And then Patman told me this like the other day. He actually sat me down and was like, Hector, I'm playing so many different roles and so many different agents. It's fucking not easy, man. And in my head, I didn't say anything to both of them. In my head, I'm like, yeah, well, if you want to get close to Forsaken, this is what you got to be. Right? Like, but he's like, well, yeah, if you want to be that guy, you got to, this is what you got to do. But it's like, I mean, that's obviously not my response to them because that'll kind of be disrespectful. But I can say this now because they're not here. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, that's what PRX does with fucking Forsaken, and I need one of those. So tighten the fuck up, champ.
Takes, and like Wendler probably has more insight, but I think it takes like a pretty unique individual to be able to pull that shit off because like you need a person that's just like very creative in the way that like Forsaken clearly knows how to play the fucking game at a very high level. But like for him to just like theory craft quickly, like, okay, this is how I'm going to play this agent here. He probably watches like a little bit of like how people does shit, but then just does his own thing with it. The fact that he's able to do that and like he actually like likes, I don't know if he likes doing it, but like I feel like you need to be the type of person to like the challenge of like, yo, this is like a puzzle I need to solve. And it doesn't matter that it's a new agent. I can still play like my own style on it. And he figures it out. I think it takes a unique individual to do that because a lot of other players would much rather just go into like mastery of one character. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
that's why
it also implies a bunch of you got to accept that you're going to just suck balls a lot of the time. Like you got to take your lumps when you're doing stuff like that, and I mean that's a hard thing to balance with your own personal confidence as well. Like to basically go and do all these different roles, do these agents, suck balls at them the first time because you are going to,
yeah.
like over and over 20, 30, 40 games, and then eventually you get it. Right. But it just takes a lot of. Is that weird balance of basically ego and anti-ego, whatever you want to call it, right? Just dark matter, whatever you want to call it, right? Like it takes a very special individual. Like I don't know a lot of players who can I know a lot of players who can accept like sucker balls on the agent. I know a lot of players who have like incredible confidence. It's kind of hard to have both, and he manages to like thread the needle on that, which is impressive, right? That's the most impressive thing for me.
Yeah, he's definitely a unicorn in that regard. Like even the veto pearl that everyone talks about, where he's gonna like break the kill record. Like there's stuff like he's definitely more open to like being provided setups, but then he takes the setups that you provide him and then he adds 15 to 20 more on top. And that's just like a bit of hyperbole, but like there's different things I gave him, and then he'll come back to me and be like, Ash, like what if I add this? Or like, what do you think of this? And like he just naturally adds it in despite not having like tons of hours of playtime. Like if you give it to anyone else, it's like, okay, like maybe you need like 50 hours of playtime in ranked with this to get to this point. And he's just immediately has it ready to go.
Does he like go in server and do that, or does he like just use like Valoplant? Like
it's server mostly. Like server like watches VODs for like him playing the agent.
So I want to ask another question going into that, like, and like everyone can answer this, is like, especially at international, I feel like dry running shit or like simming stuff can actually be better because you can't find that many scrims. I feel like, especially towards like the end of the tournament. Like, is that something that like your players ever did a lot, or your teams did a lot? Like, you guys actually like run like sim setups where you get in the server and like that's how like you find your setups, or like how like.
I mean, most of our stuff comes from just basically when we have server time every day. We have a lot of server time every day. We also generally during internationals, the players will go off and they'll work in like ones or twos and just look for stuff in server. Like I think to be fair, I think like even most of that stuff really, like the most of the good stuff, I think just comes from like dicking around in server.
Does it come from the players, or does it come from like the coaches, or is it like a joint effort? Like
it's like a joint effort. I mean, Ethan's a goat at this. Ethan's like the goat at just finding like these insane like micro things in server time. It's a joint effort. Like some players are like better at this, some players are worse at this. Sure, Ethan's incredible at this, but yeah, it has to be a joint effort. I think. To be fair, I don't think a lot of the best work is done on Valorant. Let's put it this way. In terms of
or in
sort
scrims.
of stuff. Yeah, or in scrims. Yeah.
Sims to me is the best. Like even dry walkthroughs of like you just take one or two or three coaches and you just go, a guy might be here, a guy might be here, a guy might be here. Let's go. It's funny because I struggle with this with players early on in this game. And even in CS, when I brought it to Blade, because now Navi does this, but they also have Navi Junior, so like they get to like do stuff now. But for me on Talon, it was easy because I had an academy team. I would just make my academy team. I would turn my academy team into our opponent and just be like, "Yo, guys, here's the ante. Here's our game plan. Here's what we're doing. Blah 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 blah." Those would be the most beneficial. I mean, I'd argue this is why crews develop so fast. Actually, is players like Surf, Kennedy, Thigh when he was there, all that. Because they became those enemies for the week.
Yeah.
But to me, this is really like everyone stole this from fighting games. Like there's a Korean player named Infiltration who was the best at this. Like he would, all the Japanese players, the Daigos, the Taquitos, like all these guys would basically always like work together and like lab stuff out, right? And in America, you kind of had that, but it wasn't really the same. But there was this one Korean guy named Infiltration who basically like Street Fighter 4, 5, and then like other personal stuff happened, which is like not for this show. He wouldn't play anyone ever. No, he wouldn't play online. He wouldn't do anything. He would literally be in training mode all the time and work. He would basically watch other people play. So he'll watch like Daigo versus Justin Wong. And he'll work out both characters and what the sets they like to do, and he'll work it out on his character. So he'll be like, okay, or like a Karen, like crouching medium kick into EX Rekka. Like, you know, he'll be like, okay, if this is what they like to do at this angle in this spacing, let me see what it does with my character. And then he'll do it and he'll find his options. That's all he did. And he was one of the best Street Fighter players. Basically, yeah. And it is literally, I'm not even joking. It is like walkthroughs are still the best practice you'll have in Valorant. Because you perfect your stuff, and then when you go to scrims, well, like for us, we have like green, yellow, red. When you go to like red scrims, that's basically like match sim. By the time you go into a red scrim, you should know both your playbook, obviously in and out, but you should also know like what specific protocols for whatever specific comp. So what you try to do in those days is match a team that has the comp. Right, like I don't want to scrim Frost if he's running Cypher Deadlock on a day when I'm going up against the Koreans and I'm, you know, they're running like Killjoy Viper on Haven. Like the experience you're going to get out of me is way different than what you're going to see in the game. That is really hard to do in this game because there's not as many teams, not as many players. Obviously, like, you know, scrim sharing shit is also kind of weird. But in fighting games, you don't need any of that. There's a training mode where I can sim everything perfectly, frame by frame. And then I just go into a match. I just do my shit. Oh, he's going to want to do this because I watch the tape, right? I have the ante. I watch his sets. I know how he plays. He doesn't know how I play. GG. Right? And it's such an overwhelmingly strong tactic. It's obviously why I think over the last 2 seasons, me and Cruz have had a lot of successes because good luck trying to find my scrims when most of my scrims are sims, most of my scrims are theory work, and if I'm in a scrim, I'm literally strat rouletting. You're not seeing what we're doing. Because in a scrim, we don't even know what we're doing because Javi doesn't know what he's doing until, right? Like I don't tell him what the install is until it's time, and then you have to master that. We don't master that against teams because you just can't now because you have to like worry about so much. But like, yeah, like that is the most important, I think, thing. Like another thing that I'm doing, or I'm not doing this as much because I trust him now, but you remember we did the SpikeTalk episode with Sava, right? And remember what I told him? Do you remember what I told him about him needing to be like a certain player?
Oh, yeah. You said, get ready.
What the fuck you think this boy was doing? Early on when he like would completely botch a clutch, it was, yo, let's get in server. And I'd have his teammates do the same thing. He'd just get the reps on like all the different personalities and types. Now, bro, this motherfucker's clutching everything now. Now I don't got to worry about him clutching now. So now we don't even bother with this. But like, that's how you fix these problems. You have to fix enough of these problems until they're no longer problems. And then you don't have problems. Now you have like, you know, but like, it's not even scrimming 10 times a day. Yeah. You know, like some of the, like I had a brutal schedule at Talent 2024. Sorry, Cruz. But y'all were some bots, bro. So it needed to work. Bro, we were scrimming like 7 times a day, bro. It was like 3 breaks.
Damn.
Bro, it was nasty. But like the reason you got to do that is because you have to feel the game. But when you have a certain level of mastery, like if you're like on NRG, they don't need 6 scrims a day, actually. Yeah. Because they're so good and talented and smart, they need the 2 hours of lab time, maybe 3 or 4 scrims max.
Yeah, we have never done more than 4 scrims a day.
Right.
At any point, basically. I mean, even then, I think we probably did too much at Santiago doing 4 some of these days. So much of it's done in labs time. Also, the point in terms of like looking at what comps you're facing, what comps you're basically scrimming against. Also, that was low-key a massive advantage for us in Europe because Europe's tier 2 is like not amazing, but it is very wide. So we were able to basically go through. We were able to know which teams were good for us, basically, because obviously we've got experience in the region. But we were also able to figure out, okay, go through every single team, find stuff that's running close to the comp that we want to. See where what trade-offs we make, all this sort of stuff, make these assessments every single day. That's a huge thing me and Bronco were doing. It was funny, this season, we got the academy team, obviously. And I was trying to, one of the things, we didn't get to do too many of them in the end, but we were looking to do more and more, like, scout team.
Scout's a football term. Strong is a big football guy. That's why me and him get along. Yeah. So, yeah, scout team. That's actually what it's called. Good shit, boy.
Just show you. Got the helmet.
Oh, shit.
My boy.
Played for years.
Wow.
Yeah, we were doing like scout team, and it's like it was super helpful because I mean also we kind of had to because some of the comms we were seeing from the tier 1 teams in the kickoff, it was like, okay, we're not going to find anything close to this in terms of the teams we could scout. Like but I know one of the ones I remember we had to do was G2's Corrode comp. Which was the waylay ISO Skye. We literally had to go in, call up the academy team, give them an entire. I had to go through, give them an entire G2 playbook, run this. They beat us 19-5. It was very quiet in the call after that, and we did not pick Corrode on that next game.
Yeah, bro, dude. Listen, we played against sleepers, and they were just putting ass with that comp, bro. They were shitting on us so bad that even we were like, yo, fuck it, bro. Let's just try it. And I played ISO the first time, bro. My first ISO ult, first of all, it's crazy. I've played so many agents already, and like I haven't even been a pro for in the league for almost a year yet. It hasn't even been a year of me playing in partnerships. I played ISO. My first ult is a sheriff. Bro, I ulted somebody with a sheriff, bro, and I won. I fucking won, bro. My first ISO ult ever. Oh my god, bro. But I mean, dude, low key, the way that NA was playing Corrode, like we were just frying everybody because it was just there wasn't enough like depth. And honestly, with that comp that we were running, we were able to just flood on every NA team. Every NA team. But then we ran against fucking. Did we play you guys the first time on Corrode? The first series we played? Did we play Corrode? Fuck. I don't remember. Our problem the first time against you guys, we were getting on sites. But it was our post plant that we were fucking up a lot. But we were getting on sites a lot. Our defense was like fucking whatever. Like it was just mid. But against Nongshim, no, we switched against Nongshim, didn't we? We switched comps. No, we played the same comp
against Nongshim, yeah.
Bro, Nongshim, we just got fucking bodied, bro. We couldn't flood because they just have Dombi already holding every fucking area we're going to flood in with a shotgun. It was just cooked, bro. But yeah, like against, I don't know. Against you guys PRX the first time, it worked out a little bit better for us. We just lost like on our defense. A lot of like the 3v3 scenarios, you guys just shit on us. Like in that like mid round, but like the beginning phases of the rounds were fine. You know what I mean? Like it actually worked out similarly to like North America where like, yeah, we're getting on sites a lot on our attack. We just lost tons of post plants against you guys. And then on defenses, like the openings were fine. We just got picked apart in the mid round because you guys are just, man, Ivy was a fucking killer, bro. I swear every time I like peeked into this guy, I'm dead in like a second, bro. But I was also kind of like doing some shitty peeks against him too. But either way, it doesn't matter. Like, it worked really well in NA. That shit did not fly against APAC teams, bro. Like, holy fuck, did it not fly against APAC teams. Got absolutely destroyed, bro. I was thinking, like, fuck, like, maybe we should have ran the 100 Thieves comp, and we would have had, like, maybe that would have thrown off the APAC teams.
Oh, that's disrespectful.
Like, running, like, the Sage fucking veto.
That is so disrespectful.
I fully expected the second time
that is actually
played.
So disrespectful. I'm just going to, all right. I got you on that one.
I fully expected the second time we played, Dre, that you guys were going chamber on the map.
That's what I saw.
I went into pregame. I went into pregame. Oh, yeah. I know the dig, too. But I went in pregame, and I'm like, guys, it's probably going to be chamber. Like, it makes sense to me. They put Dre on chamber, and then the chamber didn't come out. I was like, oh.
That's what
are you talking about the second game? Yeah, the second game, right?
I was
to be fair, myself, like the second game, we all were like on board with that comp that we ran. Like we were like, yeah, fuck it. Like we're going to live or die by this. I mean, we died by it. We fucking died by it.
Oh, man.
Let me just say, we fucking died by that. We were all on the same page. Like, we all were like, hey, fuck it, bro. It's a gamble. But, like, yeah, who knows? Like, maybe it'll work.
That's tough.
Hindsight? Yeah, okay, maybe we should have went
Not hindsight. Not hindsight. Prediction.
Maybe we should have went
Prediction. I'm like, yo, buddy, I play these Pacific teams all the time. Trust me.
Dude.
This will work.
We were frying on Bind as well. In NA too. Like Bind was one of our strongest maps.
Oh no, you're not winning out here.
We didn't get to play it. We didn't get to play it. I mean, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think the regional
that shit was an awesome learning experience.
I'm not even gonna lie. It's the regional strength that's killing you.
Well, it's really getting better though now. I think like I know you guys were talking about this meta. God, this meta's fucking shit. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think it's shit. But
do you think there's tactical depth?
I don't know, bro. It not as much as it used to be. You know what I mean? Shit feels kind of mid. Bro.
Okay,
Dude, we literally lost against a team that ran all of PRX's fucking strats. They just copied PRX, and we lost to it. At, like,
Dre, you just traveled back in time to your phase days. That's all that's changed.
That's it, bro.
actually, bro. Yeah.
You needed to be on Neon, bro. Why did they have you on Neon, bro?
I mean, dude, it's just fucking
Unlucky.
venom in it, bro. Dude, listen, I played every agent almost, bro. Like I said, like I'm just racking them up. The thing is with me, like, and you were talking about like players learning agents. Like, I have this phase where like I will actually be trash for like the first week of me playing.
Speaking of FaZe Clan,
except for Waylay. Waylay was the only character that like I was able to. It was just Jet.
Broken, bro.
It was just Jet.
Yeah, man, I was amazing on this agent. That's amazing.
It was also just Jet. Like I was able to like just switch to like Waylay with like 3 days of practice and like just play anybody in an A. Like literally, like I had before my first match on Waylay, I had like 3 days on it. That was it. Never played the character at all in ranked ever.
Look at this, bro. The Caucasian Forsaken, bro.
Yeah, I wish, bro. I wish. slowly,
bro.
Well, like,
you know what's so funny
even
about
for
that
me,
stuff?
like, and I'm playing Vise. Like, it took me a while, bro. But now
you'll never get the grace for that. It's why, like, I laugh when Ilya now is getting shit on for Neon. I'm like, do y'all idiots were not remember this guy on fucking Yoru to start, and then everyone's like, oh, he's the best fucking Yoru in the world.
That's what I was
What do you
saying.
think he's gonna do on Neon, bro? All y'all did was create a menace, and now none of us have anything to stop him.
I was saying the same shit.
Sentinels, bro. What the fuck are people talking about, bro? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Anyways, my bad.
Everyone's ragging on him, and I was like, yeah, just wait till Champs comes.
That's what I'm saying, bro. These guys are bums, bro.
Like, but like
stop talking, man.
if
These
Neon
guys
doesn't
with
get touched,
microphones.
you know what I mean?
I mean, even if they do, like, I'd rather he's solving like the micro play now,
Bro.
Yeah.
so he
Bro,
can
they
ramp
got
up later.
so many points because of
it'll
these
come back
dumb
eventually.
systems. Bro, they're going to be fine for champs. Who gives a fuck about season one? You want to know what their season was last year? 0-3 in the dumpster. And then all of a sudden they get Pac-Man and then they don't fucking lose. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, people are just weird, man.
Well, your team's not at their top form a
What
quarter
are
of
we
the way
talking
into
about?
the season.
Yo, check the
no.
points. What are their champion points like? They're going to be fine. They can drop a couple games while he learns this shit. What are we talking about, bro? This is so weird, bro.
What do you guys
it's
think
the same
about
with you? Like, you guys have a bunch of points. I mean, not as much as I guess you guys are
I think
particularly.
we're tied with NRG.
Yeah,
still.
but you guys traditionally have had a lot of
And now
points
Furia's tied with us, I think.
Yeah.
So I think it's a three-way tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, what do you guys think about
in a good
Nongshim?
spot.
What do you guys think about like Nongshim like after that event? Like, are they cooked or are they? You think they'll be all right?
It's hard
It
to
depends
say.
on what you mean, by the way.
Like with Yoru being nerfed
They
and like
have
Francis
10
going to
Masters
like
points.
Teo and Breach.
Are they going to make champs? Yes, even if they're trash, because this is what DRX and T1 were like last year. They did great. They're going to make champs, even if they're trash the rest of the year. Unlucky.
Yeah, like I think they could probably sack. Like I think ideally they want to get to London at least, but they could probably sack not getting to London as like a worst case and still probably be fine through stage 2. Because the thing is, even with stage 2, like if they bot 4, you're in the quals versus the VCL teams.
Yeah.
So out here you're dealing with like, I mean, unless like a Varel pops up out of nowhere, like what happened at the Ascension, but you're dealing with like Motive. Like if you're asking me if Motive is gonna beat like Nongshim if they get like put in like a worst case spot, I would say no. Like, is Fancy gonna beat them? No. Like, they might gimmick a map out of it, but a lot of like, there's not. I wouldn't say like at least right now that there's strong tier 2 VCL teams out here at the moment to where I'd be like, oh no, like they're in trouble if they miss London with like the point advantage they have.
Yeah, and then as long as they place in season 2 playoffs well, they're going to be fine. Yeah, if they lose, champs might be, but I still think they might get in the back end with just, if they win 1 game this season and 2 games next season, they still have, 13 points or 14 points or something? Yeah. I didn't qualify last year with, 12 or 13? Even though we were like, bro, I was 4th in kickoff, second in my group, 4-1, by the way, lost to PRX and lost tiebreak to PRX because, these guys are always in my fucking group.
Yeah, we all share something in common. We've all lost to PRX except...
Yeah, man. Over and over and over. But you know what,
Wendler,
though?
have you ever played against PRX?
Scrims,
what was I helping? I was helping G2 a bit at Korea. I think, yeah, when G2 played them in Korea.
Did they lose?
No, they won. I'm pretty sure.
What?
Wait, let me look. I need to.
Wait, was it icy?
Damn,
Yeah,
that deserves even more credit, lol.
Hey, but that was when
I
PRX
don't
didn't
think.
have
Oh
the
no,
macro.
No, Toronto, they lost 0-2. So before that, it's not all on me anyway.
Okay, we probably all lost to
Josh.
PRX.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all got our
I'm
ass
still
beat.
losing.
Wendler.
Bro, VCT had a fucking
PRX.
graphic. Bro, VCT had a graphic.
Dude, that graphic was diabolical.
They had a graphic that was like, Frost has never beaten Alex in 6 attempts or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let's see if they'll do that to a non-foreigner, though. I'm pretty sure they won't. But for me, it's cool, which is fine. When it comes to Alex, I don't mind because me and him are homies. So, like, I don't give a shit if, like, you guys make fun of me. But I just think it's weird that, like, we can't make fun of them, but they can make fun of us. It's, like, so strange. I think that dynamic is just kind of weird. But it was a hilarious graphic, in fairness. But, yeah, they literally promote that now. Like, I've never beaten PRX because for some reason they're always in my fucking group, bro. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Bro, 4-1 twice, by the way. 4-1
Same.
twice. We didn't make Shanghai because we had to play as a 4-1 team, our first match in playoffs. Knockout stage was PRX. There's no way, bro. 4-1. 4-1, bro. 4-1 last year. Last season 2 of season 2.
Is he doing that because you lost 10 times to him or what, bro?
No. Yo, 4-1 again last season 2. And then we play them immediately, or not immediately. We beat DRX and then we played them, but then we have to play them again to go to Japan, or not to go to Japan, to go to qualify for champs, and then we lost in another 11-13 loss last map, which is like the 3rd time in a row, I think. Actually, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times in a row I've lost to them last map, basically. Wow. 11-13. Not even a joke. Just go look it up on VLR. Like sometimes, yeah. Anyways, it doesn't even matter. But yeah, so yeah. PRX be clapping them cheeks, bro. It's just tough, bro.
Yo, I wanna circle back to like the talk about players that we were saying, like about like how like players go in the server, find their own micros and stuff with the team. Have you guys ever noticed, like on the rosters that you're on, that like the teams that you have players that are like willing to do it themselves without being pushed to do it are more successful? Or is that not really a thing, and like you can kind of like push players to like do it and like still have the same success?
I mean, the players who don't need to be pushed can have longer careers.
Yep.
That's 100% the case. I mean, I remember back on Vitality in 23, the one dude who would always do that was Molesy. And like at this time, he was kind of like not like he had a good LCQ before. He wasn't massively well regarded. He had a pretty poor season, and then the dude just kept kicking and kept kicking and kept kicking. He got promoted with Apex. He had okay season individually in the league. He's probably gonna get promoted or whatever. He'll be in tier 1 next year most likely. He's like 29 at this point. He's like moved to YG, all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. Those dudes stick, and I think in general those dudes are more successful. Well, one, because they stick. Just longevity just beats everything else at some point. The guys who kind of need stuff spoon-fed, it does speak to a little bit of a lack of motivation fundamentally, right? I think that is definitely the case, and you have to have that drive from within to really succeed, like long-term, like build anything up long-term. So yeah, I think it's hugely important. Like again, Ethan. Like Ethan could retire tomorrow. Ethan's incredible at this stuff. Ethan just keeps doing this stuff, and that's why Ethan's probably going to be. Ethan will outlive us all in esports at some point. He'll be like still playing this stuff when he's like 45. He'll be like Angel.
I'll be casting him still.
Oh shit!
I have only had people that are like, or that are not like that though. I'd probably say 90% of the players, and that's not hyperbole. 90% of the players that I've had on my teams are. Most of them are either my setups or maybe like an assistant coaches, or they don't. And then most of my arguments with players, like actual arguments with players, are from, you have X amount of setups. Why are you not doing this when this happens, that when that happens? Like what? Your job is easy. What are we doing here? Like, you know. So I have had the exact opposite experience. So
you think you need you need all 5 players to have that same type of like wavelength in order to like win a championship? Like, what's the recipe for like a champion, like a team to win like a championship there, like a trophy? Like, do you need 5 players that are all motivated, creating their own micros, or Is it like a half the team does it, or you know what I mean? Like what is like the most ideal type of team to have?
I mean, I feel like with any sort of like quality or like lack of quality thereof, I feel like you can always carry one guy. You can sometimes carry two guys, depending on what exactly you're talking about. You can't carry more than two guys. Like you need at least three of your guys to be like that. In any whatever metric you're talking about, whatever you're talking about there, you need three of those guys. You need three of your guys at any one time to be like that, to be that sort of guy. You can't carry more than that. You can't have like you can't just go down to one or two guys. It can't just come down to the coaching staff. If they don't have that motivation, they don't have that drive, they ain't doing that stuff. You're going to struggle because there's a huge thing with the setups as well, where if you're spoon feeding them setups like all the time, right? That means there is a level to which they don't understand why the setup exists, where it's fundamentally come from. They haven't built it up themselves from first principles, right? And obviously they can, if they're a good student, they can listen, they can get to a good understanding of it, all this sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be a slight bit missing because they haven't built it up themselves. So, and like I don't think you can afford more than like one or two guys to be not doing that stuff essentially, because if they don't, they're not going to get to a high enough level of understanding of what they're doing at some point, and that's going to always hold you back. I mean, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's to me one of the most, I mean, I've said it the whole time. I mean, that's why the talent thing worked the first year, is you just need some, like, for me, if you have a base level of talent that obviously if you suck, there's no way to win. But if you have a base level of talent, I've always succeeded more with smarter players and people, right? From like Blade to Cooksier to, Markey to Cruz to, Javi. Like, the smarter you are, the more info you can retain, the more vast your toolbox, the more ways I can beat you. And then it's your job to figure out which one I'm going to use on that day. And if you guess right, you're in my head, and congrats to you. You're probably going to be in a good spot. Most people can't, because I'm not a one trick. I'm not one dimensional. If my players aren't either, good fucking luck. Just ask Wendler. He keeps beating me, but he knows it's hard because you just can't nail down. Like, it's hard to predict, and I feel like Valorant's biggest strength for any player is, if you're hard to predict, the benefit is in, like, the ball's on your court. If they're easy to predict, on top of that, you almost have no reason to lose. Mm. So.
Yeah.
But somehow I still lose to Ilya and PRX, still unlucky, or Alex.
Bro, it's just not fair, bro.
It's just life, bro. Sometimes you just can't get everything, bro. Some people can. I just can't.
He's a cheat code, bro. How are you feeling when you first joined PRX, bro? You like, yes.
Oh, you should tell him about. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Who he had to betray to do it. Yo.
Yeah, you betrayed Frost, and then you scumbagged him with the agent select, right?
No. Wrong team, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm just joking, bro.
They at least cleared that up, so people don't just assume we double fucked up.
That's fucked, bro.
No, I mean, off season was interesting. I traveled a few teams. Hector reached out, was like, "Hey, doors open." Didn't need to do any. Like, I think the one thing I wish there was more of is, and that's what I always give respect, not just because I'm on the podcast or because I'm friends with you, Frost, but the ability to offer someone a job that doesn't require them to build something to prove their intelligence. Like, I think very easily you should be able to know if someone is good at their job or not to hire them. So that's like one thing I wish would change kind of in Valorant, at least, where it's not, oh, here's a job opportunity, make us half a playbook and then anti this team, and then just to confirm the same shit we already know that you're probably good at. But anyways, so Frost reached out. The whole time I was in contact with Paper Rex still from Champs, but I didn't know if they would be able to actually
Disclaimer.
Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling?
Because it's funny. He's like, hey man, the whole time I was with the fellow of ball, but I was still you were my side piece.
But I was like,
basically what he's saying.
But I mean, in fairness to me,
I'm just talking shit, bro.
Yeah, in fairness to me, it was hard because like I was trying with G2, and then trying to figure out if like Paper Rex would be able to send an offer or not, because I didn't know if they'd have budget or not.
Yeah.
And then between like GE and then Paper Rex offer ended up coming through, so I was like, well, now I feel like a dickhead because I was talking to Frost the whole time, but
Nah,
I don't think many people in my position would have probably said no.
Yeah, you can't.
That's what I was telling Frost. I was like, do you blame him? I was like, do you blame him, bro? It's fucking PRX.
But just I mean, early on it was a little bit jarring because I came from like learning under Josh, and like obviously like a little bit of Anders talking a little bit of like mini, so more heavy like structure, not like heavy structure, but like more, I guess like predefined sets of like how are we going to respond to if a team does this. Here's different things they do, different tendencies that you can give to like Valen, and Valen can point out and like know how to call the round out and stuff like that. But with this team, they take that information in a different way. So like early on, it kind of burned us because like we were trying to test that. Like the first game versus GE, there were certain ways like Astra util was set where I was trying to give like, hey guys, if you see this util, it's X. If you see this util, it's Y. If you see this, it's Z. And the guys don't really respond to that so much. So it was a lot of just learning of how do I take the information and then give it to them in a way that still lets them be creative and do the things that they want to do. Where if they see this information on top, they know, okay, like this is my response to it. So there's a lot of like just treading that line of figuring out what's too much, what's too little, what's the right amount of information. And then outside of that, a lot of it is just supporting Alex with comp theory for the most part. And
mental or what?
And mental, yeah.
Or are you death slamming too, bro?
Dude, I've been crashing out. They just don't catch it. Like even at champs, dude. At champs, I was the first one to break my shit. I think it was the third match versus NRG. I was the first one. Like everything was going wrong for me.
Santiago. Santiago. Yeah.
It's breaking everything. Broadcast doesn't get it, and then they get the one time where like Alex hard slammed and like stood up and walked out. I'm like, how do you? And everyone's like, oh, how do you do in the booth? I'm like, dude, I'm not like innocent guy in the booth. Sometimes it does catch me off guard though. I will say, but it's fun.
Yeah, y'all are crash outs, bro. Frost, you still crash out in the booth, or are you more chill nowadays?
No, I've never. First off, I'm glad you said that. My perception is, I don't know, an ogre, I'm a dick or whatever, but like I don't crash out the way Alex or Wendler do, and yet everyone thinks I'm a bigger like.
Dude,
I'm
Jovi apparently crashed out.
Jovi is the biggest crash out, and with me, he's always like congenial and like nice and like mild mannered and stuff. But yeah, bro, Jovi one time it sounded like a bullet, bro. I thought somebody got shot. What? I was like, yo, where the gat? That shit was crazy.
Went back to New York for a second, huh?
Bro. That shit was crazy.
Yo, on the topic of staff, how'd you find your 15 staff members, Frost?
You know what's funny was I don't have an academy team, but
wait, what do you mean? 15 staff members?
Well, he's just jesting.
I'm just
but yeah, Bala.
You got a T1 entourage? You got a T1 thing going on?
Can't beat him.
Everyone made fun of all gamers. Everyone made fun of all gamers because they had 15 people, but he's just got that many staff members instead.
Bro, yeah. I swear T1 rolls so deep to these events, bro.
It's actually kind of insane,
crazy.
No?
T1 has like actual like 20 people, bro.
Yeah, EDG the same.
Bro.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It really came down to taking less and trying to like build out a staff. Because I think back to the point you made earlier about recognizing talent, I've never struggled with that in my entire esports career, in any game. So for me, that's kind of a strength of mine.
What you got there, bro?
Coffee. Delivered by... Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah. That's right. My boy he takes care of me.
Nice.
I'm like Javi. Bitch ass. Sorry.
Yo, Frost drinking caffeine? Something's up.
I'm cooked, bro. Long day. And I was up at 6 a.m. I don't know what it is. I can't sleep. I'm old, bro. I really just need people that are different than me now, because, you know, especially if you want to do the things I want to do with all the different comps and styles and sort of like week by week, just, you know, yeah. I don't need people to tell me more about what I like to do or what more of like how I see it. I just don't like. I need something like a small example. With Jovi last year, Jovi for kickoff was just acclimating to Korea, so I took the bulk of all the responsibilities at Talon in kickoff. Jovi season 1 was pretty much responsible for every ante. Jovi season 2 off season was responsible for the off season program, swapping Thigh to Raze, because he had Dodo Nut like run like a lot of very similar sets on FlyQuest, and like we kind of played a little bit similarly. So the off-season training program to swap Talon into PRX, spearheaded by Jovi. Season 2, I think our first 3 games of season 2, all Jovi. All I did was finalize game plans and like veto. By the way, we argued even over vetoes, because now he was like, yo, if you're having me do all this, trust me on the veto. And I was like, bro, I know these teams, bro. Trust, bro. And sometimes I was wrong. Like, I think was it Zeta? No, Boom picked bind on us. And I was like, Jovi, we don't even need to practice bind. I was like, bro, we don't need to practice bind. Then these motherfuckers pick bind and they get smacked. And I'm like, how do you go from not picking bind for 3 years to thinking you're going to beat Cruz that's on his best map? Even with no practice, he's better than you. And I was like, dude, so like, even Jovi was like, bro, you got to let me do it. I was like, all right, my bad, bro. Fuck. But like, these guys are dumb. Like, they should have never tried him on his best map. So like, you have situations like that come up and you're just like, you know, like you try to like, I'm giving him experience of the things I've experienced here and the people, so that he doesn't have to go through the whole, like, I need to learn Boom and I need to learn DRX. I'm like, bro, I've been playing against these bums for this long. Here's what they do. Here's what they like to do. Here's how they are. And then when we played like T1 and PRX, right, that was like me. And then I'm pretty sure T1, he gave me the ante for it, even though he wasn't supposed to. Like, Joey was supposed to just be like this. I'm chilling now. And then he was like, yo, heck, here, trust me, I got him. Just do this. So then I built a game plan off of his thing. And with Balox and with Vladcourt, it's similar. Like, Balox, I think, Balox had like a whole slew of ideas coming into this like kickoff. And we didn't use any of it. And it wasn't like his fault. It was like, yo, I swore. By the way, I just got to tell you, I swore.
That's fucked.
Balox had waylay and everything, by the way. Oh. But I swore that my players would not want to do what I wanted to run. I wanted to run Yoru single plus veto.
And they did it.
And they chose it.
Yeah.
They were like, nah, let's try this. The
only one running solo Yoru, actually.
Right. They were like, let's try this. I was like, word, we in there. And then it became our shit. I had no idea. I literally left it up to the table because I built a new team. They're all fucking different. They all have these massive opinions. So I just brought it to the table and said, all right, we have these comp ideas we want to run for kickoff. What do we want to start with? Because we can always use the other ones for season 1 or whatever, blah, 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 blah. These motherfuckers picked my shit. And I was like, huh? Okay. Word. And like Vlad basically has been like, I would say most of the antes for PRX were split between Balox and Vlad. Most of the antes that we needed on the short days, like the days you play, like we have a game today, and in 24 to 48 hours I play you. That's basically all Vlad, right? Like I played today. Matchup. No. We played 2 days.
Tomorrow.
I played.
Tomorrow.
You're saying,
Yeah. No. But I'm saying in general, like the days where you play today, but then if you win, you have to play like in 24 to 48. Most of that will be him. Platoon is basically all analytics, and every single time I need help with a game plan, it's basically me and Platoon. Every single time we need to do an install, nowadays it's Platoon. Like, it's Platoon and Javi, and I'm just basically quarterbacking it like, yes, no, this is trash, and then they argue with me, or like they argue with Platoon, and I'm basically like the enforcer now for the right idea, or what I think is the right idea. Because ultimately it's my job on the line if I'm wrong, right? So, like, yeah, so that's basically what happens. So it's like kind of like an amalgamation of everyone's stuff, except outside of the Jovi example, except if it's like a big Korean matchup, then I just like. That's
so
Strong.
like this next
I'll
one.
be honest about that one. That's
Strong.
like the one.
I don't think people know. Like, I think people in the scene know, but like, you're the main guy that pulls up the internationals. You've got the whole laptop set up. You're in tech deck. Like, did you guys ever look at like adding additional support staff, or was it always just like, I will handle a lot of this myself?
Yeah, it was basically we never ever looked at additional support staff. Essentially, it was a case of, look, anything in terms of the ante, like between me and Bonk, we're good, basically, right? And we kind of realized, I mean, what we do, which I don't think most teams do, we kind of both try to look over everything. There wasn't really an allocation of resources. It was more so we're both going to just pound everything at each problem. Then we're going to come together and we're going to discuss. We're going to come to the correct solution basically on it. So, like, which is a massive duplication of effort, but we kind of we figured out we can both handle the effort sort of on that basically, right? So we never thought of getting a third guy in because, for one, that means you kind of bring enough guy into the equation, which means makes it more complicated.
I don't think that's inefficient though, because like last week versus Gen G, one of the maps was basically Platoon. He came up with everything. I looked it over. I was like, I don't like this. We need to change this. We're going to do this on this round instead because I know them. But basically, it was him. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think it's
is it easy to delegate this way?
I think it's, I mean, you can delegate stuff, right? But I think just the way we worked, we just kind of realized we can both do both of these things. And if we're both going to bring 80% to each map, then that's fine, basically, right? We're going to be better for what we sort of think. I think there was a lot of value in that delegation. We just kind of figured, I mean, particularly with how Bonk works, we just kind of figured out it's never really going to work for how we work, essentially, right? Like, I'm very happy to go off and just do maps on my own. I'm very happy. I would be happy to just delegate stuff, split stuff. In the beginning, when we were doing stuff in the 24th season, for example, there was a little bit more of that delegation, a little bit more of a split focus as we were trying to figure out sort of the things. So, for example, there was, like, when we were playing in Soup, there were certain maps that I was doing, certain maps he was doing, and we just kind of realized over time, okay, if we can do both of these things, we might as well do both of these things, and just so for that reason, we never really added a third person. It was never really on the table. The only reason we would want to add one was for the analytics side of things, and that was kind of a thing where I'm very good at the analytics and very good at numbers. I can kind of bring up anything that we needed on demand. So we didn't really ever have a huge focus on it. That's kind of why our staff worked the way it's with. And I think it is, to be fair, it's a little bit of a unique situation because essentially we're both willing to basically go and just pound absolutely everything into every single tournament, right? I think, honestly, to be fair, I think it didn't help us, Santiago. I think on my end, at least, I don't know, I can't speak for Bonk. I was exhausted by the end of that tournament, man. I was just completely worn out. And to be fair, that's potentially,
How did the reseeding affect you guys?
Badly, really badly. So I mean, I think I said it publicly already. So what happened with that was, because of this whole thing, this whole process we had, basically, where we're both hammering at every single map, basically, where we can, right? He prefers to work, like, Bonk generally prefers to work stuff in the mornings. I generally prefers to work stuff at nights. So what happened was, we get the news of the first draw at 6 p.m. Bonk did like a little bit on that night, not too much. I did everything else, essentially. I basically got all maps done, working straight 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. 11 p.m. we get the news is going to be reseeding. I basically say, right, fuck this, I'm going to bed. I immediately go to bed, set an alarm for 4 a.m. On Bonk's side, just because of how he works, he basically gets up, he works from like 11 p.m. or midnight whenever we got the reseeding. He works straight through to like 5 a.m., takes a nap, like cuts back, works for all that night. I get up like 5 a.m. as well. I basically work straight 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are shattered during the series, just completely exhausted. Honestly, I think the long-term knock-on from basically both, well, particularly him, but also from me to an extent, from losing that entire night of sleep, basically from just having to go through the night, having to then deal with, obviously, we lost the matchup. We have to deal with no rest days during the entire tournament, which may be a scheduling mistake, but
so hard.
Yeah, was there less dark days at this event? Like, am I crazy?
Compared to Champions, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was significantly less. Like, when we knew a little bit going in, And obviously, champions, we had the 2-0 in groups, which helped a little bit. But even so, there was like it was much more compressed between groups and knockout stages. I want to say there was one less dark day during the playoffs as well, because we had, I think we had 4 days after upper semis at champion. I might be wrong on this, but we had 3 days here, and we didn't take any of those days off, which, again, in retrospect, mistake. We should have taken at least 1 day off, or we should have shortened the schedule, whatever. Is what it is. But yeah, this was like not massively compressed, but it was like subtly more compressed than something like champions, and I think it did make it harder, and we did not adjust well for that going in, basically.
I think that just goes to show how important that buy is, bro. Like, actually, that buy, like, dude,
for sure,
played 4 fucking games, bro.
But I
gotta play 4 games, brother.
Not to be overly critical, though, but I definitely think the next time you're in this boat, like, especially if, like, we end up working together one day, too, the delegation really matters, because I was so sick versus Gen G, bro, I wasn't getting sleep. I was fucking cooked.
Yeah.
Daniel took an entire map that ended up like playing in the series, and like I feel like one of you should have sacrificed your sleep for the day, for the game ahead. The other one got his sleep, woke up, studied, and had the mental during the match to basically remember the patterns, and sort of like then you can pattern recognition in real time, help your IGL during timeout, or like, you know, in between maps, like, yo, their style is changing. They're playing like this. They might do this on this upcoming map. Be wary. We didn't really scout for this. But if X, then Y. Because if I can't imagine 2 people cooked in a booth, that shit to me would be like insane work, bro.
Yeah, it was.
But I just went through it now. Where like, bro, I couldn't, bro. I was fucked, bro. Like, I was lucky that before I got sick, we already did the like week ahead, right? So we already knew what maps we were aiming for, what we were gonna do. But I just didn't get to a specific game plan that Platoon ended up doing for me. And like, I can't imagine like being sick, then doing that, half-assing it, and then also being in the booth, half-assing that too. I'm lucky that Platoon was also in the booth with me, because the map, he knew it better than me, because obviously he did the prep work. So I just was just like, I don't know if you watched the GE comms, but like, they like made a video afterwards. You can hear me half the time I'm talking about, bro, I feel so bad, bro, my back, bro. And they're making fun of me because I'm old, but I have body aches. So in that map, I'm basically just there like, fuck, I want to get the fuck out of here, bro. Fuck this, bro.
Recovery is so important. That's like, honestly, that in Santiago, that's the biggest thing I learned.
But it comes from delegation is my point. Is you guys have to, players are fucked. You guys don't have the ability to do that like me and
Dude,
Strong.
I got... So like I was watching the interview of Ilya after our game. He said, "Yo, I was just burnt out against."
No, I knew.
Who was it against? Like following? Oh, it was Nongshim right after, right?
Yeah.
I knew it was either. I think it was the final match against NRG. I knew going into map 2, he was done,
dude.
Like I could see it on.
Did
the
you know he was done this week too?
That was me against you guys, bro.
This week was a little bit of just some troll behavior by everybody.
Oh yeah, don't worry, because by the time Ilya plays me in 2 games, bro, he's gonna be I'm in there like swimwear type
That's
shit.
He's gonna be, you have the shrimp aura. I swear. I think shrimp is just you personified into another team. It just activated the Winter Soldier.
That's so fucked up, because I'm always so nice to him, so gracious, and he treats me like shrimp, bro. That's #1 bullshit.
He treats me like shrimp, bro. That was still the funniest shit ever, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, like going to the player camps, like it was. I'm pretty sure it was NRG, but I literally look at Alex. I'm like, I point. I'm like, he's done. There's no saving this. Like literally in timeouts, like we tacked. It was like Ilya. I was like, I know you're tired. I was like, what do we need to do? I was just like, how do we get you active? Like, do we need to change your position at all? Like that's like what some of the attacks were. Just trying to alleviate it as best as we could.
Especially in like the lower bracket runs, dude. Like it's just nonstop. And then BO5 into BO5, like holy fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
Kickoff for Jovi was cooked.
Oh my god, that shit's crazy.
24 hours.
Yeah, but at least kickoff was like you had time. But like Santiago was so fast, bro.
Whoa, no.
It was so fast.
No. You're under a wrong assumption here. Best of 5. Next day, best of 5.
Oh, I know
Next
that.
day,
I mean,
best of 5.
Tournament wise.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Santiago just felt like it was like, Oh,
Yeah.
you qualified for Santiago. Boom, 1 week, you're already fucking there. Like, boom, you got to play. Didn't have time to fucking do shit, really. Not even scrim much.
Yeah, 3 days. One's a media day. Teams there aren't scrimming 2 maps because they just made the announcement that they're gone.
Oh, like they did
Oh,
now? Never mind. I'm still so mad about it. I don't.
no,
even
Frost,
wanna
we
discuss
can wait till week 4 to play our waylay patch too.
Oh, don't even get me
No,
started. After they told us
I'm
they
so confused. I'm
Okay,
so
so-
confused as to why, like, every other region, even EMEA,
Okay,
right?
Wendler handle this.
okay,
before
so-
I do.
So we went to, like, we had that meeting with Riot that got tweeted, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like there's like 6 or not to me, like there's like 6 or 7 different teams that showed up. And we're all sitting around. And the very first topic was like balance and when the patch should be applied. Because initially, aside from the waylay patch blindsiding all of us after Santiago, based on communication we got there, but they're like, okay, we won't do it till week 4. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah.
either you make a choice to hold it until playoffs, or you just give like the 1 week like grace period of everyone getting back, and then week 2 you implement the new patch. Because that's what China did last year with Teo. Like, Teo came out for kickoff. Week 1 they had no Teo. Week 2 Teo was live. So I'm like, you have to pick one or the other. Because if you go to week 4, you're gonna jail everyone to tourney realm. Teams won't scrim unless it's tourney realm because they don't want to screw up like their existing ideas or game plan.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're gonna screw all these teams. Like, maybe teams like think it's good for them, but then 2 weeks later you have to make another adjustment, and you have no clue what patch will come at that point either, or like if a potential future change is slated. So all of us at the table, like they asked, they're like, would you guys be fine if we moved it to week 2? And it was before week 1 games even started yet. And all of us at the table, like, it was us, Jovi was there, T1 was even there, DFM was there. Everyone's like, yeah, we're cool with the waylay patch being moved up. And they're like, okay, we'll talk to the other teams the next day, and then we'll get back to you.
And where are those teams from? Never mind. My bad.
But
like-
they would do that because they're sitting there practicing this shit the whole time while we're in fucking
And they're
Santiago.
saying it in interviews afterwards. Well, we
Yeah.
didn't want to waste 3 weeks of practice. That's
Yeah,
why we're
but
running
it's like-
single Yoru.
it's the biggest
Unlucky.
bullshit
Or
for
not
you guys.
But
single
it's like we,
yeah, unlucky.
like 24 hours later, like no response. It was like 2 or 3 days later. Then I asked, I'm like, is this happening or not? No, because we don't want to disrupt the other team's prep. And in my opinion, if you go to, like, if it's a meeting with Riot devs, right? And you have a majority of the teams voicing feedback about a change. If your team is not there, in my opinion, I don't think your opinion should matter. If you're not at that meeting. Like, if you really cared about whatever standing you wanted to make with the waylay patch or the timing, you would be at the meeting.
But
or
it
you would have
wouldn't
sent
matter.
someone there.
It wouldn't matter in every other region.
Yeah.
It matters because of where we are.
But it's just like, the other thing too is, and I mean, I tweeted this, if like Leo made his claim on the Plat Chat podcast where he said patches are not built around pro play. Cool. I'm fine with change. Like, none of this is like me being adverse to change. But when you have China that's not playing the patch until playoffs, the patch has been live. Pacific, it's not live till week 4. And you're telling me next year when they add another 10 open qualifiers in different regions that all of these TOs are going to have it on the same page? Like, you can't tell me it's going to be. Like, you go
They
from
will.
kickoff to Masters 1, and then imagine you get back to your home region. It's like, oh, you play in KR. Like, I'm not using this for the sake of Frost memeing about Korea, but like, imagine you get back and it's like,
It's just
hey,
honest.
like- but imagine
Truth.
a team gets back from their Masters 1 and it's like, oh, in Japan, this patch is live. But in South Asia, this patch is not live. But in
Shit makes
Brazil,
no
it's
sense.
live. Like,
Shit makes
what
no
the
sense, bro.
How
That's
is
what I've
how,
been saying, but why am I the dick?
But then the
I don't
argument
get
on
it.
top of that is, well, we're doing this to make sure like the viewing experience is good. How is the viewing experience good if every region is on a different meta or patch? That doesn't make any sense either.
Variety, baby.
No.
Variety.
But then the hypocrisy comes when then you ask specific devs, is double nerfing Sentinels and initiator is good for the game when you're doing it at the same time. And they're like, well, we don't do it for viewership. But then when you talk to the business guys, it's always for viewership. So it's like they can't even get the shit right. Like, hello? Like, can we get on the same page once?
We gotta get Leo on here, bro.
No, we don't. No. As a matter of fact, keep him where he is, just like the other guy, with the interviews where they are, because no one wants to have an honest conversation about how things are. They don't. So let's not provoke anything. How about this? How about I have an email about rebuilding trust from a rioter? I won't say, specifics. They don't even show up for the meeting. How about that one? Their own self-imposed meeting, bro. It's not even me. I don't even care. I don't even care, man. Let's just talk about that, bro. Rebuilding trust. Yeah, man. But then in the email, it's scathing about me, about how I like talk on this fucking podcast and I'm inflammatory and all this shit. It's like, no, I'm not, man. You guys just aren't adults. You're just not adults. And I'm not a 21-year-old coach that hasn't had success in other games. I got 4 chips and 4 different ones. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, man. Trust me.
My bad.
Like, it's insane work, bro. Insane.
My bad.
No, man. But it's just funny because, I feel like...
Public enemy number 1.
Sure. And I might be. But the thing is, that's justifiable. I get it. I know what I look like. I know how I am.
Yo, let's be honest.
Get it.
Stocks have never been higher, man. In terms of public opinion. Yeah.
Not if you ask PRX. They keep beating me.
Yeah,
I could have made Santiago if not for this biatch over here. But, I'm just saying, if even Wendler or why I got defensive earlier with Jemkin, if these guys are also complaining, then I certainly can't be the bad guy, right? Because I got guys that never complaining.
Yeah.
Unlucky, bro. My bad.
Let
me go back to sipping.
Just make an event, bro. Maybe your opinion would matter if you made an event.
It's true, bro. It's just so funny, bro. It's just so funny. That is the perspective, actually.
Yeah, it's just like...
By the way,
bro.
Mwah, amazing by you, buddy. Oy.
Got you, bro.
Amazing. But it's true. I get it. I got to get better. I understand, bro. But when the best are also complaining, then, I can't be.
No, I know.
Ridiculous, no?
That shit doesn't make sense to me. That, people are still playing on the old waylay. It makes no sense at all. I don't know.
But then it goes so what is the conversation? Anyways, I'm going to shut up. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's just the consistency doesn't make sense. For the past 3 years, I was with JDG last year, but I guess in an official capacity, they have all these regions on just completely different metas on top of that too. That's the other thing. It's odd.
It is tough. Life is hard, bro. I find out the hard way. Coming to Pacific, bro. It's just tough, man.
You'll have stuff that's legal in some regions, and then you get to the international, it's banned. There's no consistency even between domestic to the international rule books either.
Yeah, and vaping in bathrooms.
I think what's funnier is when you actually think about it, the reason someone like me gets so mad about this shit and I'm really flagrant either on a microphone or interview or any of that stuff is because I think people diminish how many lives are changed by these decisions, right? I went through an experience in North America where I had OGs that thought a player like Zekin was trash. So we don't get him. And I'm sitting there man, you know what my roster would look like if I in franchise and then, I have to go through minimum level players and, Furia. Then you go to Talon, you do the same thing. And then I'm in a region that is apparently the hardest and I'm doing it on minimums when everybody else, I'm playing against teams where one player gets paid my entire roster. And I'm still making champs out of here. And then people are like, man, why are you such an asshole? It's because if I make a mistake, I lose and I'm out.
Yeah.
And these mistakes aren't even my fault. I'm trying to do my best to adjust to these stupid patches. I'm doing my best to adjust to teams working together, which that's what do you expect me to be, a robot, not to be man, you know what? This is actually not fair. This is not cool. Right? It just so happens that I'm I'm not Asian, so like you bring that New York thing to here, and it's like, man, this is a problem. But to me, I see all these things as problems. I don't get how. Not to make this the big point, but I don't get how the logic is I'm not good enough to qualify for a Masters, so people like babybay get this information before I do. That doesn't make sense.
I made it before you.
Okay, man, congrats. Do you know how much money per win you spend over me? That's like, that to me is like where the logic goes. It's like, I feel like if we're all coaches, if we're all players, we should all find out in the same way. That doesn't mean our opinions need to be the same. I'm not saying we all should be like kumbaya. I'm just saying that certainly there shouldn't even be, aside from the financial difference between teams, there shouldn't also be a different dissemination of information, right?
To
think
be fair,
you're expecting too much from the team that had on one hand the planning the initiator nurse, on the other hand releasing veto as an agent.
But then they call me R-word. So like that, I think is where people, I think, misunderstand like my venom and my anger. It's because it's like, dude, like Nongshim. No offense to Nongshim, and I hope that they tweet this out like DRX and all these other guys, and they make it a big show, because week 5, I'm coming for that ass. The reason is they didn't win last year against me and Cruz at all. All of a sudden, now they're the best team in the world? Why? It's not that they all of a sudden like became Super Saiyan and like went to the gym and like got better. Like, it's largely the same roster, largely doing the same things with the same fundamentals, but the balance often dictates what happens. And to me, the frustrating part is, how are we building a system around, without being callous, but uneducated balance? So now we have an uneducated system. And now we're promoting uneducated things like we have the most tactical diversity in this meta. Like, all right, man. Like, all right, bro. And then if you say something about it, you're a dick. You're an ass. If you don't say anything about it, my argument, what did I tell you, Wendler? We have to be good stewards of Valorant. We can't just let this shit get away. Just because we're taking advantage of a system, we can't then also make it worse for everybody else. Because I will bring this point up. I've been around players who have really hurt developers in, let's say, fighting it. Actually, I'll even say it. I won't mention names, but Injustice. In the fight, there were testers of Injustice that were allowed to also compete the moment the game came out, right? And they were hiding from the devs that Superman was broken so that they can abuse that system and be good in that game. And they won so much money. I've seen that at work. That is not cool. That is not cool. And I, on a personal level, don't respect the people that did that, because I know how messed up it is, because you're affecting the lives of the game engineers and the support staff and the marketing staff and the other players you're playing against that stuff they don't, because you were able to test the game beforehand. So I'm not like just being a jerk to be a jerk. I just think it's like very strange that instead of things being symbiotic, it's all like disattached. So when we say things like, yeah, but like, the dev team and this guy and like that guy, they don't work together. And it's just like, then how is any of this expected to work if you guys can't get it to work in the first place? Like, pick one. Either we are adults in the room and we're professionals, or we're just going to throw darts at a dartboard. I'm cool with that too, bro. I'll get better. I'll try. My bad.
You popped off, bro. Talk your shit.
I'm old, bro. I'm
tired of this shit.
You should have been there.
Tired of this shit.
Should have been there at the meeting, Dre.
Oh,
I activated him like the Winter Soldier, and then I had to like come in and just mediate everything out.
But you knew exactly what you were doing.
Like, you know what, man? That was a good point that guy brought up over there. Whether it was a good one. I mean, he's a good egg.
Fire,
so
bro.
This is kind of funny, bro. That fucking dinner was
fire.
crazy.
I still think to this day, like that champs meta where NRG, where you won strong, was the best meta that we ever had. It was like you could run double Senti, you could run double Initiator, you could run double Duelist, and everything. You could run whatever you wanted, and I thought it was like so fucking dope that every team had their own unique identity, and it's just like if you played your shit well, like you could win. Like anyone could have won.
Let's nerf Cypher and Sova.
That was the best. I genuinely think that was the most balanced meta. There was so many different comp archetypes you could run.
And they saw that meta and they were like, "This is horrible. We have to." Like, I mean, they were like,
NA wins. This can't happen again.
They were going around proclaiming, like, just to anyone who would listen, "No, this isn't right. This isn't how the game should be played. We need to have initiated that. Don't worry, we nerfing all these initiators after champions." You know, it's just like, yeah, you don't. I mean, this is esports. You don't understand. You can make a good thing. You don't understand it. Now you're destroying it. Great, awesome, good job.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was the most diverse meta I think we've had. I think everything else has just been like, oh, you have to run this set of characters, or else you're just fucking not optimal. Like, you could still win doing other shit, but it's just so fucking hard, bro.
I think a part of it, too, is we all grew up. Because I don't really have to say anything. You could defend me on this, Andre. When we were playing against each other, most of the players were comfortable one-tricking. No one wanted to swap agents. The meta was every 6 months, everyone runs the same comps. And then it becomes like who optimizes those comps better or what players have better aim. Because that's ultimately what it comes down to for me, is if all things are considered equal, the baseline now are mechanics and whose mechanics are stronger. That's where the firepower term really comes from. So I think that we have gotten so good now that even with what Riot did after that champs, look how diverse the game is now.
Yeah, it's still diverse, yeah.
Even though we all know where Waylay Neon is to go, everyone is still trying other stuff now, largely because everyone knew a nerf was coming, which the public doesn't. That's the difference, is like we do get a heads up slightly before the public. Mm-hmm. But I think that the game has evolved so much that I think even when they're trying to course correct balance, they're thinking of it in almost as if players are not going to evolve too. Right? It must be in a vacuum for any of this to make sense. It's not like you, Andre, are going to, like, 2 years from now, you're going to be the same dope you are today. You're actually going to be a little bit smarter and a little bit better. Actually, you'll be slightly worse because you're older.
What? Hey, fuck you, bro. I got experience, buddy. All right?
That's not what she said. Anyways,
what? My bad. What? Who the fuck is she?
That's on me. That's on me. So,
that's on me. I'm going to be a flex IGL in a couple years, bro. Just wait, bro. I haven't even peaked yet.
Oh, you're going to be Javi, who's like 7 years younger than you?
Oh, be shit about Javi, bro.
We got to wrap up, boys.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, next year, BCT is going to be fucking crazy, though.
We didn't get to talk about that. Sorry, guys. Strong, you are coming out with a podcast that I wanted this podcast to be, but Andre is a dope.
What?
Talk
to us about it. At least close with how it started, what you envisioned for it, and like all the stuff.
Yeah. So we're doing it with my brother Salah. Who don't know, we were coaching together on Vitality for a couple of years. We were a long time before that. Analytical podcast. Basically, we're just going to go through the games of the week. We're going to identify the stuff we think is cool, the performances, the maps, all that sort of stuff. Break it down for you. We're still trying. We're still evolving the format of it. Little less spice in this one at the moment. We're trying to up the spice. We're trying to get a bit of a habanero in it still, but you know, it's a work in progress. But yeah, calling it either untitled or titled, depending on the formatting, because it turns out that's a
should
big thing.
Definitely be titled because you have a title.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you do have a title, bro.
That's true. That's the whole. That's the joke, you know. But yeah, find on YouTube. Just strong. And yeah, we're just gonna be doing that weekly. We're just gonna be building on that. So a lot of tune in basically.
Fire, bro. I listen to it
for you. I'm glad. Yeah.
I like that. When I was watching your podcast, like, and me and Josh were talking about this,
that it was actually good instead of this?
we were talking about like how, because like obviously we're running the Harbor stuff instead of Viper on some of the maps.
Yeah,
we both liked that, like, you didn't just be one of those people that it's like, oh, like you have to run Viper on every map and like G2's stupid for not running it, and you actually talked about, yes, you're losing out on some of these Viper things that are consistent, but like you're gaining this. I like that you had that perspective, and that's I think why we have a lot of respect.
Yeah, you're never going to hear me shitting on that stuff in podcasts because in general, just because it's one, it's boring to do that, and two, bro, if you're not if you're not trying to figure out what other people are doing and what they're actually gaining from it, then what great, you're never going to learn. You're never going to progress yourself, are you? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I liked about when I was like watching your last podcast. It was fire, bro.
Yes,
Some
man.
good stuff there.
So in other words, you're vain. You just like that he didn't shit on you.
I mean, bro,
Noted.
that's not even what it is.
Don't make them. Don't
Would
make
you-
them
Are
play
you
of the
shitting
week.
on us for our comps? Are you?
Don't make them play of the week.
Yes,
Just-
actually. I did
Hey,
too.
fuck you, man.
You right. My bad. Bro, people shit on me all the time.
Hey,
Single
fuck you,
Yoru,
man.
Single Yoru sucks, bro. It's hard to do. Unlucky, bro. Best defense in the world. I don't know.
Bro, we all gotta make London, bro. We gotta make London.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait for the me and Nat showdown, actually. I'm so
Oh,
motivated
my
after
God.
I'm here. I'm waiting for
First
you all.
round.
Waiting for you all.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, are you back? You're over there right
Yeah,
now?
he's back home.
Yeah, I'm physically in London.
Damn, bro. You
We
did
got you,
fast. You were like, fuck this LA
Don't
money,
worry.
bro.
Wendler will
Fuck
be
this
there.
LA lease. This shit costs too much, bro.
Hey, if we do what we did to Gen G last week, we won't be.
Yeah, but how often does that happen? That happens once a season. Trust
Hey,
me,
man.
I know.
Hey, don't worry,
Yeah.
bro. You'll show
You know what
up
that
when
means
you
for
need to
my
play
Natsa
Frost.
versus you, huh?
Yeah,
I
you'll
know.
show up when you need to play Frost, bro. I already know.
course.
Ilya's
course.
dropping 60
Ilya-
on Neon. 2-0.
Bro, Ilya-
2-0 barbecue, bro.
Yes.
And all the
Yes,
kills?
bro.
All
He
the
only
kills?
shows up for those games, bro. In the
Ops.
season.
All the kills, ops.
So just wait. It's going to be bonus round, up, wallbang headshot, bro. Watch this shit, bro. It's going to be cinema.
Yeah, like Lotus on Governor.
gonna be cinema,
in 24. Opens the
gonna be
door,
cinema.
just randomly flicks a Raze ult.
Yo,
Like, oh,
bind.
yeah, you're
Bind
trash,
against
kid.
fucking... Bind against Cruz. He's
Yeah, I
pushing
know.
short.
That's
Just
crazy.
randomly
Just
flick,
random
shoots
wall
the
bangs.
wall.
Yo,
Headshot.
that shit
Yo.
is... Bro, this guy is...
Yo,
insane.
don't worry. He dropped the nuke on me on Corrode, bro, last map. That was fun, bro.
I mean, a weapon
Aces
for
on
Tom could've
pistol
done that
round?
with
Great.
you on Yoru, though.
You know when Ilya aces on pistol round, you're just like, yeah, this is going to be a fucking hard game. Like, this game's just going to be fucked, bro. Like,
Dude, it's that fucking stairs or that spot right outside A on Corrode. Where if it's any type of clutch situation, like 1v2, 1v3, 1v4, and he's on that stairs spot, he does not lose.
that was the
It's
champs,
great.
dude. That was the fucking champ. I remember watching that shit. I was like, wow.
All right,
Kills.
before we
Yeah,
go,
anyways, all right.
how crazy was that Aspas at that champs, right? Your champs, Strong? Wasn't he just unbelievable?
That was insane.
Bro,
It was
I mean, we obviously we've seen him a lot in Americas,
Yeah.
right? But it was just, and he's always like a difficult player to play against. I mean, this is the thing with Aspas as well. He's also just, I mean, he's mechanically brilliant, but he spends so much time. Like, the thing we kind of noticed, like after the second matchup, was, bro, he knows every angle we're going to pick. He knows, like, he has so much information about everything we're going to do, and he's just set up to counter it perfectly every single time. But then that champs is just another level. It just, oh man, that series where he goes like plus 40 or something, and I don't know how we win that in the end, but it was like,
bro, crazy. Champs Aspas is unbelievable, bro.
He makes his money in the later half of the year, bro.
yeah.
It's like, actually,
Unreal.
that's where that motherfucker
Imagine
makes his
being
money.
that good, you could just turn it on.
Dude, it's so fucking. It's every year. It's every
unbelievable.
fucking year.
It's fucking unbelievable.
That's why he lays back in his chair every time.
Yeah.
He's just pre-stockpiling energy, and he's just like, yeah,
Oh, he's like Goku.
yeah.
Spirit
He's like,
bomb.
hold on, spirit bomb.
He's about
All
to spirit
right,
bomb.
load up real quick. All right, ready to go.
Crazy. All right, gentlemen.
All
It
right.
was a pleasure. We all got practice except
Yep.
for Andre.
I already practiced.
Strong as sleep.
I'm not even giving him that. I'm not even throwing the shade that way, bro. That's fucked up.
Hey, all good. All right, GG's, bro.
Jeez.
GG's, guys.
GG.
I'm excited to watch the first half of the podcast, bro. I'll have to watch my own fucking podcast over, bro.
That's what
That's
happens
so
when you're a
fire,
bum.
I'm
I
not
gotta-
bum, bro. I'm
I gotta
fucking
bounce, guys.
cracking, bro. Try not to be a
Title
bum.
of episode, late as always. Peace.
No, that's fire.
Bye-bye.
That's fire.
That is
no,
fire.
that's fire. That's fire.
Late as always.
All right, peace,
All right.
boys.
All right.